The internet is not trying to inform you. It is trying to keep you. And one of its most effective tools is anger. If you have ever opened an app for just a minute
and somehow ended up in a comment war, feeling tense, exhausted, and strangely unable to look away,
you've met the modern attention trap called rage bait.
Oxford Languages named rage bait the Oxford Word of the Year for 2025.
They define it as online content deliberately designed to elicit anger or outrage, frustrating, provocative, or offensive, posted to boost traffic or engagement.
And Oxford's language data shows the term's usage has increased dramatically over the last year.
So today, in Arcane Knowledge, we're going to explain what rage bait is, why it feels irresistible,
How it spreads, and how to escape it without logging off forever. First, the mechanics. Rage bait is not just someone having a bad opinion.
It is content engineered to trigger a predictable reflex. You see it, you feel a jolt,
And you want to correct it. Because anger is a problem-solving emotion. It makes you want to move, to act, to respond. And on the internet, responding is measurable. Clicks,
comments, shares, quote posts, duets, stitches, reaction videos. To the platform, all of this looks like interest. And interest is the raw material of ranking algorithms. So rage bait works like this.
a creator posts something provocative. The audience reacts. The algorithm sees engagement.
And the post is shown to more people, including the exact people most likely to get angry. This is not a conspiracy. It is a feedback loop. And research on engagement-based ranking has found that, compared with a reverse chronological feed,
These systems can amplify emotionally charged, hostile content.
because it produces the signals the algorithms train to reward. Rage bait is clickbait's darker cousin. Clickbait teases your curiosity. Rage bait hijacks your sense of justice. Now here's the important part.
Rage bait rarely aims to convince you. It aims to recruit you as a distribution engine.
Your outrage becomes the delivery system. So what does rage bait look like? Sometimes it's a deliberately wrong fact that any expert could correct. Sometimes it's an insult disguised as an opinion.
Sometimes it's a harmless joke, calibrated to be just offensive enough to spark a fight.
And sometimes it's a perfectly edited clip, stripped of context to make someone look monstrous. It often has three ingredients: simplicity, certainty, and contempt. Simple claims spread faster than complex ones.
Certainty feels strong, even when it's wrong. And contempt invites you to prove you're better.
Rage bait also loves time pressure. Everyone knows this. How are people this stupid? Say you agree.
Prove me wrong. It turns the internet into a public arena, you into a gladiator who fights for free. But rage bait has another trick.
It often feels like you are doing something noble, like you are protecting the truth.
Like you are defending someone. Like your anger is evidence that you're a good person. And sometimes, anger is justified.
But rage bait doesn't care about justice. It cares about velocity.
Because outrage moves faster than nuance. And a fast lie can lap the truth many times before breakfast. So why does rage bait feel so hard to ignore? Because anger changes how your brain allocates attention. When you're angry, your mind narrows. You scan for threats. You rehearse arguments.
You imagine what you should have said, and your body prepares for conflict. That state is sticky.
It keeps you engaged. And it also changes your sense of time. A 5-second clip can occupy your whole evening because your brain treats social conflict like real conflict.
Meanwhile, the platform is quietly learning. Every reaction is data.
If you stop to comment, the system learns you linger.
If you share to criticize, the system learns you distribute.
If you quote to mock, the system learns you amplify. Rage bait doesn't need to be liked.
It only needs to be impossible to ignore. Now let's talk about the creator's incentives.
On most platforms, attention is money. Views lead to ad revenue. Engagement leads to reach. Reach leads to sponsorships, subscriptions, and sales. So a small number of creators learned a brutal rule.
If you can reliably make people angry, you can reliably make them show up.
And if you can make them show up every day, you can build a business on their stress. This is sometimes called engagement farming, and rage bait is one of its strongest crops.
A creator plants a tiny seed of outrage, and the audience grows it into a forest of comments.
The platform rewards the activity, and everyone's mood gets worse.
But the cost is paid by everyone else, in trust, in attention, in community, and in reality itself.
When outrage becomes profitable, the internet becomes an outrage factory.
So how do you escape?
Not by becoming calm forever, and not by trying to out-argue the internet. You escape by breaking the loop.
Here is a simple protocol that works because it changes the signals you send. Step 1. Name the feeling. When you feel the jolt, pause and say, silently, "This is trying to make me angry." Labeling the emotion reduces its grip.
It turns a reflex into a choice. Step 2. Don't touch the bait. No comment, no quote.
No stitch. No angry share for awareness, because the algorithm cannot tell the difference between outrage and admiration.
It only sees engagement. Step 3. Verify before you energize. Ask, who posted this?
What is the original context? Is there a primary source? What would change your mind?
If you can't verify it in 30 seconds, it doesn't deserve your nervous system.
Step 4. Replace the action. Anger wants motion. Give it a better outlet. Save the post privately if you must. Send it to a friend in a calm message.
Or write your response in notes and don't publish it. Most rage evaporates when it is not rewarded with attention. Step 5. Curate, don't cope. Mute accounts that farm your anger. Follow people who explain instead of inflame.
And remember, your feed is not the world. It is a personalized mirror made from your reactions. Now, what if you already took the bait? Then do the opposite of what rage bait wants.
Close the loop. Delete the draft. Stop checking replies. Don't win the argument.
Instead, take your attention back, because attention is the only currency the system can't counterfeit.
And you decide where it goes. Now, a harder truth. Rage bait is not only out there,
It can live inside us. Sometimes we click because we are bored. Sometimes we argue because we feel powerless. Sometimes we chase conflict because it gives us a temporary sense of meaning. Rage is energy. And the internet is very good at selling you energy. But there is a difference between energy and purpose. Purpose makes your life larger. Rage bait makes your world smaller. So the real goal is not to never feel anger. Anger is sometimes appropriate. The goal is to stop donating your anger to strangers who are monetizing it.
Because when you starve rage bait, it dies. Not instantly, not everywhere, but in your world.
And that changes your life more than you'd expect. It gives you time back.
It gives you attention back. It gives you your nervous system back.
So the next time you feel that familiar heat rising, remember this. The algorithm is not your enemy. It is a mirror. And you control what it learns from you. If this episode helped you see the loop, tap like. And if you want more calm explanations of the strange world we're building, subscribe to Arcane Knowledge.
Until next time.